Hey there, Aquarius. Welcome to your reading for the year of 2016. So this video is for Aquarius is born between January 20th and January 29th. So what I did is I broke down every single sign into three parts, which is the decans of astrology is kind of what I used here to separate the signs approximately every 10 days for each sign. So if you were born between the 20th and the 29th of January again, this video is for you. If not, you can just click the description, and I have all three Aquarius videos with the birth dates listed there, so you can find the video that you should be watching. Now, of course, I've been telling everybody, feel free to watch all three videos. I'm sure there will be pieces and parts that will kind of resonate with you for the year, but for the most part, the reason I did this was to kind of as like a little special thing for all you subscribers and awesome people that watch this to make the readings more accurate for 2016. So again, let's get started. This is for those born between January 20th and the 29th. The first card you have is the Four of Diamonds. I mean, it's a travel year for a lot of you. I think a lot of you could potentially be traveling. That's the biggest thing that stood out to me this year. You have a couple of really big travel cards, this being one of them. This can represent travel, can also represent traveling for your job, traveling for business, or even getting a job that involves travel. So if you don't have a job, that's definitely on the table. This card will bring a job to you as well if you've been struggling. Aquarius, my main thing with Aquarius is I think Aquarius feels tired. Like, I hear that a lot with Aquarius, that they feel exhausted and tired of just things not going their way and all this other stuff. This card can definitely change that as well. This card it also can teach you how to better deal with your finances. It can make you, sometimes it doesn't necessarily make our finances better, but it just teaches us how to better use our finances. Having said that, it still usually brings in money because fours represent the home, they represent the house, and this card brings more money into your house. So, and that can also, as a side note, indirectly benefit you. So it could be if you're married or if you're living with somebody, that person could be making more money. So it would kind of like indirectly benefit you because maybe they could pay for more stuff, help support you more, whatever the case may be. So it could also be somebody in your home. Having said that, you have an amazing financial year, I think, this year. A lot of opportunities to really increase your finances are definitely here. But this card also brings in stability. It makes us stable. So I think that exhaustion and things like that Aquarius feels will be leaving you this year. Not right away. I think things get better at the beginning of the year. There's no doubt about that. But I still think you have a couple of things to deal with. And I think as we move throughout the year, it's just going to get a lot better. It's definitely a lighter year. I mean, I've been saying that to all signs. I think personally, for people on a personal level, 2016 is I think going to be a lot lighter for the most part. Not so harsh maybe than the past few years. On a global scale, I think things are still going to be going nuts. Like all this global stuff that we have going on, all these issues and things. I've been telling all the signs that I talk about this to that it's probably not going to change. Like globally, the stuff on a global scale is not going to change till 2018. That's my prediction, at least, is when that will be like the beginning of things starting to like calm down and not be so extreme. That's something that we've all been dealing with, is all this like extreme energy, and it presents itself in politics and everything else going on in the world. If you notice, everybody's just like an extremist. Even the politics, it's like one side or the other. They're like super extreme. There's nobody who's like kind of like level-headed and in the middle, and just gentle. And we won't, like I said, we won't see that for a while, but that's okay. I've been telling people, if that stuff bothers you, turn off the news, don't watch it this year, just kind of focus on yourself. And that's what this card also kind of says. Next, you have the King of Spades. This comes up for Aquarius all the time. No big surprise here. It's about going through battles, having battled a lot of things, and being a lot of battles. The thing, and what I really want to focus on with this card that's really standing out to me right now is the fact that the King of Spades, he has like truly learned from his experiences. You look at all these other kings in the deck, the other three. They can still make a lot of mistakes because they don't necessarily learn from the past. They haven't learned from their mistakes. This guy right here, King of Spades, and again I say guy, but I don't attach sex to my cards. Doesn't matter if you're male or female. You can be a king, and you can have that energy around you. It doesn't matter. But the main thing is that he has truly learned from his experiences. Not only that, he has also learned like better ways of handling any of these issues that he comes across now. So if something from the past, he learns like a better way to has learned like better ways to deal with it, and so things just don't phase him anymore. And even people who get this card usually have like a sense of calmness about them. They don't even get angry or anything like that. It's because they've just seen everything, so just nothing like affects them anymore. And it's a very interesting. It's kind of an interesting skill to have. It can make you a very interesting person as well. So just embrace that this year. Next, you have the Seven of Diamonds. Seven of Diamonds is still worrying about money. So stop worrying about money. You can, with this card, you could have, like I say, you could have $10 million in the bank, and you're still going to be worrying about money. So stop. Don't, when you get to those places, think more positively. Do something more positive to prevent that from happening. Frequently with this card, you can experience similar situations. The story that I always tell with this card is that, like, say you get a I was gonna say 10,000, but say you get a $2,000 check in the mail, and this would have been in the past. And then you get that check, you drive to the bank, you deposit that check, and then your car would break down, and it would cost exactly $2,000 or whatever the amount on the check was to fix it. So it's like this up down. You get really excited because you get money, and then it gets taken away from you. That's what you would have experienced in the past with this card. Is like those kind of cycles with money, where you'd get some money, maybe like a chunk of money. You're like, oh, finally, like I can take a break, and then boom, it gets taken away, just like that. But when this card comes in, it says, if you have a similar situation this year, just know that it's going to be completely different. So if your car breaks down this year and it looks like the same as something in the past, just know that maybe this time it'll be something more minor, and it'll be easier to deal with because you've already dealt with it in the past, and it won't go the same way, and you'll have money and all this other stuff. So don't immediately jump to those like negative things of, oh God, here goes all the money. That's what this card says. Don't immediately do that. On a side note, it can also be a card of needing to become more disciplined with your money as well, like learning how to do that. I think with the Four of Diamonds, kind of like I said at the beginning of the reading, I think you've learned how to do that through those mistakes, like through getting the $2,000 check and all that stuff. But it's still a card of success as well. It's still a Diamonds card. Sevens, I always say, they want to be eights. They want to step up. So I really think you can do that this year. It's very easy to do with a 7 as well, to kind of like step up to that 8 and become more successful. And the next card truly says that, because you have the Ace of Diamonds, which is like a big money card, a lot of money coming in. But more importantly than that, it's like kind of setting out on a new path, like starting a new journey, beginning something kind of new. So again, the job thing that I talked about, even starting a new business or anything like that, this card can bring all of that to us. But it also can bring a great deal of money and success to us. It's all about being an innovator with this card. It's all about innovation. I always tell people that this card, if you look up the birth card, the Ace of Diamonds, Steve Jobs was born under this card, and he was considered a great innovator. But it's more than just being an innovator this year. It's kind of like putting a twist on things, like whatever you do, starting a business or a job or even a relationship, and putting something new in there, but also kind of like mixing it with the old, but updating it. So it's kind of like, I know that's weird and convoluted, but it's kind of like innovation with like a twist. So it's like you're taking something that already exists and twisting it. I hope that makes sense to some of you, but that's what this card can represent. Next, you have the Nine of Spades, which is a card of needing to let go of something, having something to let go of. I would say that it's your beliefs. Don't immediately jump to these negative beliefs. And it's kind of like one of those things, when we have a card like this, sometimes like when things start to go well for us, we can immediately be like, okay, so when is that car breaking down gonna happen? You're just waiting for it because you're so used to it in the past. You're like, okay, so great, now I have a bunch of money, but now it's gonna go right out the door. Like, don't immediately go to that negative and start making things happen by doing that with this card. Allow good things to happen to you. Allow it to happen, and just step back and enjoy it, and don't immediately ruin it with this card. Next, you have the Five of Hearts. This is the card I was talking about also with travel. Big on travel, big on adventure, big on needing to be spontaneous this year, a little bit more go with the flow, just allow things to happen. I would say that this year you should be kind of just say yes. It's that kind of year for you. If somebody says, hey, you want to go on vacation? Just say yes and go. Go on adventures. It's like that's where you're going to kind of gain some knowledge. You're going to maybe learn some new things and maybe even have opportunities come up. Four Diamonds, Five of Hearts combination can be like one of those things where you go on vacation somewhere, you fall in love with the place, you get a job there, and then you move there, and like you totally just change your life like that. Even if you were not ever intending to move, even like weird things can happen with these cards. So just know that that is on the table. But this is a great success card as well. It's a birth card. It births new things into our lives. And with the past pain that we've all been experiencing, it's about time that we kind of have some new things coming into us. You end with the Seven of Clubs, card of success, but again, it says something is missing. As with all seven, something's missing there. Usually it's your health. So it says, this card says, if you're like working really hard this year, make sure to take breaks, make sure to get plenty of rest, make sure to stay healthy and all of that with this card. Because like I said, it is a successful card, by the way. It brings us success. It makes good things happen, but it says you need to create balance in your life. And you have two sevens here, and that's kind of all about making sure to create that balance, that work-life balance thing, even like work and fun, like needing to have fun and creating that balance as well. So all in all, you have a great year. I think if you kind of like just stay positive and don't immediately jump to those negative thoughts, it'll be like really great. So thank you for watching, and again, feel free to watch the other two videos.